Okay, good morning, everybody. It is tax day. Dun, 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 dun. Wednesday, hump day, 15th of April. And I'm here for recording this for YouTube and for Facebook. And, of course, for Common Sense News and Entertainment Incorporated. And I am Jason Douglas, the founder of this new news network, which is still very much in its infancy, very much in its less than professional mode right now, of course. But that's the amateur mode right now, of course, of CSNE, but we're moving along. We're going to change that over time here. It's a very long road, and I find out it's definitely more of a team building experience than anything else. So soon, we'll be reaching out and doing certain things. And it's doing well in certain areas, so it's helping others. But we are on our way now to a little bit of I got a few things I want to talk about this morning. And we are on another run for work for JBD, of course, investigating. I thought today was going to be a day at home, but I got a call. I got a rush service down in some business down in Stamford. So we're going all the way to Stamford today. And along the way, I have a house I got to post some documents to the door on in Ansonia. So we got that first. Then we got to go down to Stamford. And then we have a third one. What's the third one? Another house, another residence in Fairfield to try. That is another rush. I got bombarded with rush jobs, meaning they need them done like right away, which definitely gets me off my keister and out there quick. You know, me and my cohorts. But we're looking to move towards CSNE, and we got other people going to bring in and partner with me on JBD Investigations here, so that I can free up my time to cover stories here in Connecticut and around the country, of course. And I got a few things I want to talk about in that regard. One is Kirk Moore. Holy moly, man. I should probably do a separate video about that and show the clip of what this guy did. Maybe I'll leave the discussion for that. He's the principal of a school in, God, what state was it? Oklahoma, maybe, I want to say? I think it was Oklahoma. He's a principal. And some idiot that wanted to duplicate what happened in Columbine, where a guy killed a bunch of students at a school in Columbine in Colorado, I believe it was, in 1996. He wanted to duplicate that. This was a former student. He walks into the school with firearms loaded. There's some students in the foyer area of the school, in the lobby area of the school. The man yells for the students to get down. He fires off a shot. The gun malfunctions, apparently. He then fires a second shot off at one of the students that misses. By this time, the principal, Mr. Kirk Moore, a true hero, is in play and literally runs at the gunman while he's armed with two handguns. And there's a video of this, and we're going to show it later. Decks this guy. Pins him down, disarms him, and holds him until the police arrive. An incredible life-saving maneuver. Oh, and gets shot in the leg. The principal, Mr. Moore, Kirk Moore, gets shot. Let's see if it's the best way to go to Ansonia from here is. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna go the other way to Ansonia, not Hartford. Don't want to drive through Hartford right now at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:05 a.m. on tax day. So I waited till, I just want to put shout outs. We'll do more about that on a video post later, I think. I want to do shout outs to Kirk Moore. This guy, when you see this video, I'm sure many of you have seen it. Holy moly, man. Life-saving, true Superman activity. And the guy goes off on a stretcher. He's the only one that really got hurt in this thing. The other guy got arrested. Oh, wow. I'm astonished by that story. You can't make that one up. What a guy. I'd love to interview him, just not even interview him, just tell him how great he is. What a real protector, a real man this guy is. And I just salute to him. Wow. So anyway, taxes. I waited till the last minute on my income taxes. I know. So I'm gonna be stuck with that. But in fact, yeah, once this cast is over, I won't be on much later because I'm gonna be buried in that crap. But I also want to talk about this guy, Swellwell, whatever, this jerk off. Talk about duplicity, man. Holy gosh. And the fact this guy probably isn't even embarrassed by this. He's a real psychopath, man. Here's a guy that act like a champion on women's, Me Too, women being, protected against sexual assault while he's doing it. And you know what's even worse? Nancy Pelosi. Holy cow, she's still denying she had any knowledge of this thing. She may not have known specifically about him committing rape. I get that. But the bottom line is, if she didn't see red flags with this guy, she had no idea. After she bailed him out of a couple pretty nefarious incidents in the past with this guy, and then now claims she had no idea. What a lying witch this woman is. If you can't see through that, man, you're pretty mentally, you're not catching on yourself. What a horrible. Who knows how deep this thing goes? This party that champions themselves. See, this is the kind of hypocrisy these people are. They champion themselves as about women's rights to their own bodies and not being sexually assaulted, and they're the party of a sexual assault. They're the ones that are, believe me, there'll be more of their names behind the Epstein thing once that ever gets uncovered than anybody else. And that's why they're doing what they're doing. These people are bad. And which gets to another point. The Democrats, this is what George Washington warned us against when he said no two-party system. We got to just all work together for the best outcome. And we can have disagreements within that group, but we all got to work together. You can't declare two different parties, which is naturally what happened very soon after that. Pretty sure the very first presidential election after Washington left was involving two parties already. Washington left lamenting that. And this is the reason why. Because the Democratic Party is no longer really... The idea behind the two-party system for those who did advocate it was that you'd have two competing parties of ideas, but they love the country. Well, that was easy to infiltrate by Marxists and evil people that hate America, which are now infiltrating the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party is no longer a valid political party. It's now become like an enemy to America institution. And if you're a good-hearted Democrats of old, really should rise up and take control of that party again and turn it back into a conscientious, left-wing leaning social party that believes in social safety net or whatever, which I personally do believe there should be some kind of a social safety net, but it needs to be, that social safety net needs to be, how do I put this? Last resort. They advertise it and they put it out there as a way of controlling people, and that's where the evil of socialism comes from. To me, the social services department should be that little small house down at the end of the hallway, and just a couple people working there for those that really, truly have A, no way of producing for themselves at all. B, no family or friends that are willing to take care of them. C, no local charities or private institutions that are willing to take care of them at all. They have to be that horribly rejected by all those things that don't involve government before then finally the government might say, okay, let's help this person out. But how many people do you think will qualify under those circumstances? Not very many, if any. You wouldn't need that. That's my point. You don't need social services like that at the extent that you have it. So my belief is all about the way it was in this country in that regard. But again, there are certain people that are truly down and out that if they can prove they have really no other way of being helped, you certainly have to have a safety net for those people. I don't have a problem. I like what John Lennon said about it once. I don't have a problem with the rich being rich, but I don't like the poor being poor either. So there should be something for that. So I'm not 100% against some type of program for people that really truly need it, but they've turned it into this socialism. The evil of it is obvious. It's consumed everything. So, and that's the evil of it. That's the evil of the two-party system. That evil has taken over that one of our parties. And now we have, at some point, in my opinion, the Democratic Party can no longer be considered a valid party if it becomes anti-American. The idea behind the two-party system, even for those who advocated it, still was that, again, two opposition parties that still love America. Well, if one of them has been infiltrated by bad actors, terrorists even, violent people, obviously violence is part of the Democratic Party platform now. There's no doubt about it. Let's be real. Let me say that again. Violence is part of the Democratic Party platform now. They're not condoning. They're not condemning it. It's disgusting. Anyway, on another subject. This last thing, AI. got this. What's happening with this AI executive that I'm not even sure. I've just seen scant reports about what's happening. But if I'm not incorrect, one of them, there's an attempted murder on an AI executive recently, and there's been another break-in. I don't know if it's the same person, different person, but there's been a couple incidents lately with crazy people trying to disrupt executives of AI companies now that have barely even get off the ground. These companies are fairly new, in terms of history and technology. Obviously, they've been around for a little longer, but a couple years. But AI has really been only a public thing over for the last, year and a half now or so. And so these companies that are doing this, now that it has become a public thing like this, these companies are obviously taking that and turning it to whatever level they're going to turn it to. And it's obviously, it doesn't make sense. I'm not condoning anything that they're doing, breaking into their house and these things. But what that tells me, what scares me about it is what my original fear. We're going to do, I think Court and I should do a whole show about AI, because there's a lot of fear out there about how it could change our system, not just our employment situation, our entire society, our rights. Think about it this way. The human body, the tools we have, our brain, our memory, our abilities, our physical strength. The average human being can bench press 150 pounds? I don't know what it is. Run certain distance, there's limits to that, and it evolves very slowly. And all you gotta do is look at the record books for how long it takes a man to run a mile. It was 5 minutes or something, 4 minutes, and it finally went down. It's finally Bannister got to 4 minutes. I don't think anybody's done much less than that since then. What's down to 3:52 or something? Very little evolution, okay? These record-breaking things happen in scant little amounts as we get talking about our physical strength and dexterity. Right? So there's records that'll never be broken. They say never, but the evolution of human beings takes thousands of years, hundreds and thousands of years. However, you can upgrade an AI robot every year, make it better and stronger every time, and eventually, and you simply take the very simple fact that if we have AI that can think on its own, and you can and as that gets stronger and stronger, and you can put that into a smaller capacity, insert that technology into a physical apparatus that the computer can control, you now have a viable thinking robot, thinking independently potentially, that's stronger and maybe even smarter than we are. And once we get an army of those, then what are we going to do? And I think, honestly, that's probably some of the sentiment that's behind some of these psychopaths. These guys they're probably visionaries that recognize what's happening. They're doing the wrong thing by doing it this way. They should try to be on Common Sense News and Entertainment. Eventually, we should do a whole show about AI. I really want this to be a major network covering all these different things, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's going to take a while to get there, you guys, but we're going to keep. That's my life's calling, really, at this point. That's all that's left for me. I mean, I have my kids. I have wonderful things. I've done everything I want to do otherwise, I guess, is what I get. I've traveled around. I've seen all 50 states. I've started one business that's doing okay. Even though it's not making a ton of money, it's still done well. I've made my customers happy, and I've never been sued. You know what I mean? I've always done a good job, and I feel like I've helped a lot of people get to the truth, and it's made me a better live than I've ever had before. So I can't say it hasn't made me rich. I thought I'd have a motorboat and a cottage on the lake up in Vermont by now. So that has not happened, but that's okay. Someday maybe it's fine, but I still get to go up there on vacation. It's cool. And I don't really need the motorboat anymore anyway. I can't water ski anymore. Oh, by the way, real quick on the side, Common Sense News, Entertainment, Sports, baseball is out. This is for me playing. I cannot play. I'm worried about my rotator cuff on my left arm. I'm left-handed. I'm worried about it. and the odds of getting hurt. I've tried warming up a little bit, and my feet aren't quite ready for the running like that. I don't know. I'm not going to do it. That simple. The risk is higher. I've decided that the risk is higher than the reward. However, we are going to do something when it comes to entertainment sports at some point. So no way. So I'm going to do a separate cast here in a minute. But this AI thing that's my point, I guess. These guys whoever's responsible for this AI, I think the guy got caught actually. I'm interested to look into the story a little bit more. The dude probably is one of those people there are people that have visions for the future. I'm one of those people, by the way. But I don't go crazy and act on it like these people do, though. I know what's coming. I know AI is going to fucking destroy the human race or enslave it. It will happen. It's guaranteed. You know why? Because what it is, it's our inability to get along peacefully with one another, as nations, our geopolitical problems that are really directly responsible for it. In that, since we can't get along with China and we're competing with one another rather than having a cooperation, if we come up with some kind of cooperation with China here, I hate to say cooperate with commies, but if we come up with some kind of a cooperation, that'd be our best defense. I don't know if you can't trust each other, though. That's the thing. What I mean by that is there's this thing called guardrails. In other words, we could set up AI with guardrails. And you know what I mean by guardrails? We're looking at some right now off to the side. See those guardrails? That means if I were to swerve over slowly to the right and hit those things, it would probably prevent my car from going down that embankment and thus killing me probably. Even right here. So look right here. That's a pretty steep looking embankment right there. That'd probably kill me if I rolled down that. But the guardrail might save my life. So my point is, an AI guardrail is that you set the system up in such a way that it can't destroy the human race, rise to something that we can't control, that can self-sustain itself and has its own sense of survival, and then that intelligence could realize eventually that the human race is essentially inferior and treat us as such. That kind of guardrail that we can't stop. We could set up this AI system in a way with worldwide cooperation, which unfortunately we don't have, to set up those guardrails to ensure that does not happen. However, since we don't have that trust, we're going to compete with one another. Since we can't trust China to have guardrails, we too must also not have guardrails. So what we're going to do instead is create China IA and America IA powers that will fight each other while the human race helplessly sits back and is indoctrinated and enslaved and to watch it. It'll really just be a war between the superior. I'm talking way down the road here. I'm talking about next year or the year after, but this will inevitably lead to the end of humans' dominance over the planet, I believe. And that's what's probably concerning these guys. Now, they're not going about it the right way, by going and breaking into houses and trying to kill CEOs. That's not the way. You know, I think instead you have to get your word out in other ways and express that concern in other forums. But I get the point that won't work either. but you know, doing violent acts certainly won't work either. It's going to put you in jail. It's just not worth doing. It's stupid. Never condoning violence like that. No unprovoked violent acts are ever condoned by me or this network, by the way, ever. Ever. I consider violence to be just a last resort activity. And if you have to resort to that violence, it's decisive. I'm going to go here in a minute because I don't want this to be too long, so it's hard to load. I haven't got the technology for it yet. It's going to keep it under 20 minutes here, so we're going to say goodbye for today. Those are my thoughts for today. We're going to do a little of this every day. I know I've been quiet a couple days, but we're trying to get things together behind the scenes. I'm going to do another one here in a few minutes, probably live on Facebook, actually. No, I'm going to do a recorded one, actually, and post it for Facebook. I'm a Red Sox membership over there now. And if you're already on Facebook, check out the group, Red Sox group that I'm a member of. I'm going to do a little editorial about the Sox on a separate thing, because I don't want to bore you guys with the sports right now. And I wanted this to be something for that group, so we're going to do a little separate editorial on the pathetic, I'm just going to say it real quick though, the pathetic, pitiful Red Sox, on a sporting note, are just, it's not the team, I'm telling you. They have a lot of talented players in this team. This team is mismanaged. If people don't figure that out, if the ownership doesn't get the picture, figure that out, fire out Scora, and spend a little bit of money. We need one good big bang player in there, like a real star. Although I think our roster is good enough, honestly, to win. They underachieve. Check out my post on the Red Sox group on Facebook where I'll get into it in detail, and I'll talk about it a little bit more on my following post coming up. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye. On my way, once again, we got Stanford, Estonia first, then Stanford. This is a slow go here. Oh boy, it looks to me like it's going to be rough going into Meriden here. We got Ansonia, then Stanford, then Fairfield. Then we got a couple things in Hartford to do too. A couple unusual ones actually. We got to do a filing at the court, at the criminal court in Lafayette. I'm not sure. I'm probably not going to film that. I don't want to have problems. And then I have another one in Hartford too, which I don't even remember what the hell it is right now, but I have it here. Oh, I know. It's just a subpoena service at a place I used to work, so that's kind of cool. And while I'm there, I got some things to talk about, actually. well, with CSNE while I'm there, so that's kind of nice. And then from there, I'm home to do my taxes, so I probably won't see you after this, except check me out in the Red Sox group. Outscore's got to go, and anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Check me out, subscribe to me on YouTube. I know I got a small number right now. Good content though, you guys. We're gonna build up. I'm actually looking into a studio. We got to do some fundraising. It's just overwhelming, and so anyway, we need help with it. It's not something people are gonna get paid for first. I'm not getting paid for any of this, by the way. Just so you know, I'm doing this all on my own dime, and then eventually we are gonna take donations. We're hoping that people will volunteer a little bit and help out with certain things around logistically, and then also we're looking for people interested in being journalists who want to see the truth come out, interested in putting it out there on camera, and going out in the field and working. I have a lot of ideas. I'm doing some of them myself, but I won't be able to do them all. So I need people I can give assignments to, essentially. And yes, it will be on a volunteer basis at first. Eventually, will probably result in money, and good money, actually. You know, if you do a good job, of course. It's gonna be based on merit, not on woke. So anyway, we're at 21 minutes now. See, I was going a little bit over. We're gonna end it now. For now, we'll get this posted a little bit later today. For Common Sense News and Entertainment, God bless Connecticut, God bless America.